what the hell? Why you hanging on the roof all by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? Cause two wrongs can make a right. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So Chardonnay, we camp in the parking lot. Leave traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging on the roof all by yourself? Always waiting for the one, but I got news for you. I'm the best that you can get. So what the hell? Yeah, what the hell? So what the hell? So what the hell? You waiting for now?
Oh my gosh, is it already October? Is it already April 6th? And I'm behind on 30 and 30? Why yes I am. Okay, so here's the thing, friends. Listen, March was really busy for me, and I did middle grade March, and when I made my 30 and 30 TBR, I was like, ambitious, we got this. And now I'm like, sis, you ain't got sugar honey iced tea. And so here we are, where I am trying to make, I'm sitting here with my dry erase marker because I'm trying to figure out content for April and what's realistic in my life in terms of content for April. And I've only read one volume of manga, and it is day numero 6. It's horrible, but you know what? It's reality, it's life. So I am not doing a vlog every single week for 30 and 30. It's not realistic for me this month in terms of things that I have going on. I might be able to catch up more because we are on spring break. Well, my kid is on spring break next week, and so that might help me play catch up. I also have Patreon sprints tonight, and I probably will just spend the entire night just reading manga between tonight and tomorrow night, just trying to play a little bit of catch up. I'm still gonna aim for 30 volumes. Every now and then, you know, I like to be a little extra and hit multiple volumes, but yeah, I'm being very realistic here. A lot of B-roll footage already. I am still reading volume 16 of Food Wars. That is upstairs in... Is my book bag upstairs? Yeah, that is upstairs in my book bag. I have not been able to get to that just yet. I mean, in terms of finishing it, I haven't been able to finish it yet. But my goal is to finish that tonight. I did read, which I left upstairs. I left the volume upstairs, which is 365 Days to the Wedding, volume 1. Really enjoying that. That was a cute little time. So we have two main characters who, which I should have brought downstairs. Editing me is going to be pissed about this. We have two main characters who work for the same travel agency, and the travel agency is sending one individual to Siberia. And everybody's like, I'm not trying to move because that's like a 3-4 year stint in that place, and quite unfortunately, like, I'm not willing to do that. And so everybody's kind of like, I'm not willing to do that either. And so these two, who are very much so introverts, appear to maybe have a little social anxiety. They decide like, hey, let's just get married, and that'll save us from having to move to Siberia because only one person could go, and if we're married, they won't split up a married couple. So they are trying to fake it till they make it, and people are like, oh my gosh, we didn't know that y'all were even dating. How did you meet? How was the proposal? And so they're having to make all this stuff up as they go. It's really cute. It's funny. And I think that through the course of the series, we're going to see the two of them probably begin to fall for each other. Really cute. That is one volume that I think I talked about in my TBR that I had checked out from the library and had been meaning to pick up and hadn't done it. It's a good thing I finished it because it is due back to the library because somebody has it on hold. I am also very close to finishing The Remarried Empress. Yes, Yes, girl. We love it. This series is like crack. I shouldn't really say that because I don't know what that is like. That's a horrible analogy. I probably should take that off the video. Why do people play their music so loud that you could literally feel the vibrations in your house? Like, what is literally the purpose of that? Like, I'm not sure with the intention, but I could literally feel the vibrations in my house. It's wild. So I also have been currently reading the 8th volume of the Remarried Empress. This is a manhwa series that I found last year, and oh my goodness, it's so good. There's not much that I can really say about this one because it is the 8th volume, but if you have never heard anything about the series, it follows a empress who has known her husband, who's the emperor, for years. They've known each other since they were kids. They were betrothed. They had this really great friendship. They were really great together until the emperor decided that he wanted to go out and get a mistress. And he got a mistress, and which was not, I mean, when we're talking about historically with kings and queens and emperors and empresses, it's not historically unheard of, right? However, he could not keep his HOE in check. Okay, she literally, this is not for kids, by the way, because I know my usual content is it's not for children, because I always put my videos like not for kids, but I know people watch it for the kid content. This is not for children. He couldn't keep her in check. And so she felt like she was the equal of the empress. Like, oh, because we're sleeping with the same man, honey, I'm your equal. And the empress was like, girl, no, you're not. You were here for a part-time. I'm supposed to be the forever thing. And the emperor treats her like complete trash, the empress. And it's so disheartening to watch until it comes to a point, like the part where you begin in the very first volume, like the very first section, is her advocating in the midst of their divorce to be able to become remarried. So you do know that that is something that happens. It's very much so in the title. But for the first part of the series, you're learning how they got to the point of that first panel where it's like, I'm requesting that I'm allowed to become remarried. And you get there, and getting there is a sham and a half, and she's so much better than me because she has so much class and decorum. There's no way I couldn't be me. So I'm hoping to finish that, hoping to finish Food Wars volume 16. Something else that I have checked out from the library that is due back that I need to hurry up and get through, and something that I will be reading tonight, is The Rose of Versailles by Ryoko Ikeda. This is volume 1. This is the Omni in these beautiful hardcover editions. This is a library copy because this is not, I would not be getting this. This is almost $40, and this came out in the 70s. And it contains the first 22 chapters of Ikeda's historical fiction masterwork. Now, I've heard of The Rose of Versailles. It's romance, historical fiction, but I've never read it, and I feel like I'm kind of missing out. Like, I feel like this is like a classic manga that a lot of people have enjoyed. This is thick. It's actually quite heavy as well. I don't know if it's not, it doesn't appear to be super text heavy, but it is longer. It would count as I don't know how many volumes are in this. It's an Omni, but I don't know how many chapters are a part of this. I'll have to do the math on it, but this will count as more than one volume because it is an omnibus. But I am excited to pick this one up. I have some other things upstairs that I wanted to pick up, but for right now we're just playing catch up, so I'm going to kind of leave it at that, and I will check in once I have more things done. That's it. I just wanted to start this vlog because hopefully I will get this first half up by mid-time next week, hopefully, because it'll be now probably into the 15th. Maybe I'll upload. Oh, look at me filling in the calendar. I know y'all can't stand me for this because y'all be like, dang, this girl takes us on these whole journeys talking about her life, and we don't really care about this part. But I have to do things while I'm talking to y'all, because if I don't, I will forget. So I will try to cover yes, I like, we're filling in squares. I will cover the first 15 days and upload the first half of this vlog on the 17th. And then the second half of this reading experience will go up the 1st of May. Why is the year going by so fast now? Goodness gracious, before we know it's gonna be 2026. Good. The faster we move through these 4 years, the better. All right, bye. Here we go again. Hey y'all. Alright, so I'm here to do a check-in, this little check-in about what I've been reading. And let's go to my reading challenge. I hate the way Goodreads is set up now, y'all. It is, I just closed it. It's atrocious. I don't like it at all. Alright. So I'm still behind, right? It is April 12th. It should be on 12 volumes, and I'm literally on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm about 5 volumes behind. Here's the thing. April, because March was so hectic for me, and I may have talked about this in the first clip, because March was so hectic for me, I went into April just really wanting to chill out, and then I just had some things go left this month. Not in a drastic way, but in a light bulb way for me, right? Things that I needed to reckon with, things that I kind of needed to come to terms with, and for the better, and that's just what it was. And so I also didn't feel like reading then. So there's a lot. Just a quick recap of things that I did talk about. I did talk about reading 365 Days of the Wedding. I did end up finishing the Remarried Empress Volume 8, which I have since returned to the library. So good. There's literally nothing that I can say about this series. Like, I can just keep trying to push it on people because I really, really enjoy the series, but there's literally nothing else that I can tell you about it past that point, right? It's just really good. It's really good, and I have enjoyed it. I did end up finishing Food Wars Volume 16. Who knows where that is? I thought maybe, oh, there it is. Is this it? Did I already put it back on my shelf? I don't think this is right, y'all. I said that I read Volume 16. Oh, goodness gracious. I marked the wrong volume as read. So I said that I read Volume 16. I didn't read Volume 16. I don't know how I did that. Okay, that's not what happened. I read Volume 12. I'm gonna leave Volume 16 on there just because it can just be a place. So I've already read these books like multiple times, so it doesn't really matter either way for me. But I read Volume 12. How did I get Volume 16 out of this? Anyway, that was a huge mistake. I think because the covers look similar, the black in the background. That's probably why I did that. Same old, same old. This was at the end of the fall classic, and it was the competition between Soma, Hayama, and Kurikiba. And of course, does it end? Okay, see, this is where I get confused, because I know how it ends, and then I have to remember is that the ending is not in this volume. It should be in volume 13, but we get the start of the judging in volume 12, and the conclusion of the fall classic will be in volume 13, which I may or may not pick up. Who knows? I started a new series, A Tropical Fish Yearns for Snow. I also got this one from the library, and it's good. It's a Yuri title. It is literally a main character who ends up moving to a new town, and she meets another girl that is the president of the aquarium club, and they bond over that. It's really simplistic. It's very sweet, very charming. I think that this one had a little bit more emotion than what I was expecting. And I don't know what I was thinking. It definitely was soft, and light, but it did have a sad undertone to it. That's the best way I know how to describe it, but I ended up giving that one 4 stars. And then I went on to read Our Dreams at Dusk, Volume 2. Oh my gosh. I read Our Dreams at Dusk last year for the first time. I think probably in, I don't know if it was fall or spring 30 and 30, but absolutely devastating. It's so good. Filled with so much emotion, a lot of content warnings attached to it, but it is so well done, and I'm loving it. I got volumes 3 and 4 from the library, and so I'm hoping to finish that series up, but I gave that 5 stars. I ended up reading also volume 3. There goes my dryer with that loud noise, like, okay girl, we know you're done. But I also ended up getting from the library, Nina the Starry Bride, volume 3. And I read that and really enjoyed where the story is going. I have to see if my library will be willing to get some more in the series, because to be quite honest with you, I like it, but it's not one that I would buy, right? I gave it 4 stars. I am being very, very mindful of my manga purchasing. 1, because I don't have the budget, and 2, I don't have the space anymore. I'm thinking of having to shift my shelves already, because my middle grade shelf is becoming so packed. It's double stacked already, and I don't have any more space. And so what I'm thinking to at some point is I may need to read down some collections and get rid of some things and spread this middle grade section out a little bit more, which will also push back against my manga, graphic novel, and comic shelf. And so I'm being very mindful of how I collect. If I can get it from the library, if I can read it digitally, that's how I'll do it. Kodansha's digital stuff is trash. It's nothing like Viz Media or Shonen Jump, and so I can't even really be bothered. So the only way that I would get it, honestly, is from the library. So I'm going to see if we can get more. It's just not one that I think I would want to collect. It is very interesting. It has that historical fantasy vibe that I am enjoying with some series. My Happy Marriage is one of those that I like, the historical fantasy romance. In this one, we are dealing with a main character who was born into poverty, and gets swept away to play a duel, or a double, I should say, of a princess that was supposed to marry a prince. And so she ends up getting picked up by one prince to help train her to marry another prince of another kingdom, and she leaves him in order to help protect him. And so we are seeing her interact with this prince of this other territory that is heinous, nasty character, and she's having to navigate dealing with him, which is not great. He has pretty much trained everyone to look away from the violence that he commits, as well as some of the people who work under him, and they commit atrocities. It's not pleasant, but very, very well done still. I also ended up reading Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You Volume 2. I thought it was cute. It's a continuation of a series that I have enjoyed already. 4 stars. We are dealing with kind of an age gap in a romance where she's in her 20s, he's in his 40s. She has interesting backgrounds. I don't want to spoil it, because I do think that that's kind of part of the joy in reading this, like her as a character. And him as a character, because there's not much plot, right? This is a manga that is definitely about the character development. The mistaken identity thing, which I'm not going to go into detail about, I'm just going to tell you there's mistaken identity in this. I think can only go on for so long, right? It's enjoyable now. I like it. I think it's cute. There are moments where it's really, really funny. I'm really liking the development of the relationship, and not romantic yet, between our 2 main characters. However, if they continue to play in the way that they are right now, like if the mangaka continues to do what they're doing, yes, it is plot, because it's not that much of a plot, but there is a plot, and if we keep repeating it, it will get stale very quickly. So I want to be mindful of that going forward in volumes, and I think my library has some more volumes of that, so I probably will put a couple of those on hold. Plans going forward. I am currently on spring break with my kid, so that means that I have a little bit of a break. I have about a week off of work, which will be nice. That doesn't mean that I'm going to have all the free time in the world to read, because I do have a 5-year-old that I am looking after. But I am hoping that, because it's my time to relax, break away from the job, and kind of just enjoy, I'm hoping to catch up, right? I'm thinking that if I can get through 2 volumes a day for the rest of the month, we'll be good to go. Just 18 days left in the month. That will put me at least 36 volumes for the month, in addition to the ones that I've already read. But the goal essentially overall for me at this point, because of my schedule, is just 30. I did start Oshinoko volume 7. This is a tough one for me, right? Oshinoko started off really, really great. I loved it. This mystery, thriller aspect to it, kind of dark. We have gotten so into the weeds of the actual breaking down of what it's like to be in a theater, the details, like the composition of the stage, the costumes, the actors, the rivalry between the actors. We lost the plot. This was supposed to be about this mystery of this idol that was murdered, and there's some type of revenge elements going, and I don't know how we lost that plot, right? I'm hoping that we circle back around, but this is another one that I was like, oh, this is one I want to collect. I am low-key happy I didn't do it, because I would have been pissed at this point. I would have been very, very upset. I was also supposed to start the Rose of Versailles, and I have not been able to pick this up yet, but I do hope to get to it this week, which is an Omni. And then I don't know where to go from there. I'm gonna mood read it, right? Like I said, I got 2 volumes of Our Dreams at Dusk. I've got a couple of manhwa that I want to read that are on hold for me. And then I have some other projects that are going on as well. The end goal is 30 volumes. That's all I'm aiming for. If I get more, then I get more. But this is not going to be one of those months where I'm like, I've read like 60 volumes. It's not going to be that type of month because I have 1,000,001 other things going on as well. And so reading wise, like other things that I'm trying to get through and read. So 30 volumes will be my goal, and then we'll go from there. That was a hello long check-in. I have cotton mouth, and so I'm going to go. I'm going to be out of town for the next couple of days, and so you probably will see some of that B-roll footage coming up, and then I will check in with y'all the next time I have a chunk of things that I finish. Hopefully by the next time I check in with y'all, I would have at least caught up to a degree, something like that. Because I'm going to be elsewhere, I think I'm going to read a little bit digitally, instead of trying to take physical volumes with me. I don't like to travel with a lot of books. I like to keep it simplistic and just read things on my Kindle, which is probably what I'm going to do. So I will check in later. Bye.
Told me that you wanted to crash our car for the overpass, the one over on Briley Avenue. Can't believe the words I said. How are we gonna pay for it? Instead of how could I replace you? Dropped you off at the hospital, pushed you away when I should've pulled you in and let you know that I'll never let you go. So when everything is melting down, all the sirens and the lights and sound, when you're feeling like there's no way out, I'll hold you till you're finally found. Even when you're on the edge and the thoughts are blurry in your head, I know that you can't quite see how, but you're better than you feel right now. Maybe it was all the times I walked out without saying goodbye. Did it make you feel like you were not enough for me? Did it have nothing to do with me? Just a hurricane inside of you spinning. I really wish that I could be the truck you need. Sometimes I just can't forget how I held back my heart again. I should have held you close and never let you go.
Hello, doing an update. I know the last time I checked in I was like a blubbering mess, right? How unfortunate. I've also been updating a lot of things today, just vlogs and all types of stuff, and I was like, oh, I need to do one for 30 and 30. Okay, so let's talk 30 and 30. It sounds like I'm saying dirty and dirty, but 30 and 30. Let's talk 30 and 30 and what I've been reading. And I'm glad I have this mic because I feel like I'm whispering. I'm not really whispering. I don't do the ASMR stuff. Okay. I can't remember if I talked about... See, this is my problem. I sit down to film videos and I am wholly unprepared for things, right? I am pretty sure... I feel like I talked about Our Dreams at Dusk, Nina the Story Bride, and Smoking Behind the Supermarket with you. We're about to find out because I literally just pulled up this video. I think I did. Hold on. Yeah, I feel like yeah, well, okay. If I didn't, oh well, here we are. But I'm pretty sure I did. what I did end up doing is a couple of things here. Okay, so I realized I was super behind on Insomniacs After School. I read that last summer. I had read that for, I forget the readathon, but I ended up reading up to volume 6. And then I went on my Viz Media app and I was like, oh my God, look at how many chapters I've released, because I haven't been keeping up with anything. So I went and I reread volume 6, because I was like, I don't remember where I left off. So I reread volume 6 and then I caught up and I read volume 7, 8, and 9. Can't really tell you much of anything about it. However, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm nervous. Volume 7 for me was probably the weaker of the series, because we started focusing on some side characters, which is fine, but I think I prefer our main characters to everybody else, and so making that shift, it is a little different, but we do shift right back to volume 8. We shift right back to them, because I think that's where my rating dipped. Volume 7 I gave 4 stars, and then volume 8 and 9 I gave them both 5 stars, right? This cute school age thing that is building between the two of them is beautiful. It's done so in taste, and it's very indicative of like having that first crush, having those first feelings of like, oh my gosh, I think I love this person. It's so beautifully done, and I'm so scared because there are some things going on with one of the characters health-wise, and I just don't need anything to happen, right? I don't need anything to go wrong, and it's scaring me. So I did read 4 volumes of Insomniacs After School. I then went and read Kaiju number 8, volume 2. Good grief, this was good. Another 5 stars. I am probably going to pick up volume 3 before the month is over with, because let me tell you, I don't know what I was supposed to do with that ending. It's a 5-star. First of all, I keep picturing that other kaiju, the humanoid kaiju, besides our main character here, and first of all, I hate the way that he looks. Like, I hate the obelisk, whatever, like his head. Oh God, I just hate. I hate the way he looks. But holy crap, it was so good. I can't tell you anything. It was so good. And then I was still behind, right? So the last time I said, I was like, I'm behind. I don't know when I'm going to catch up. I'm so behind. And then I read 11 volumes of Your Lie, April, which you saw, because that was where I was like a blubbering mess and crying my eyes out. And I was like, I can't even talk about it. So I had been reading Your Lie, April for years. Probably about 5 years to be exact, right? Because it was on Kindle Unlimited, and that's how I first started reading it. Some of these volumes, it was actually my 3rd time reading them, and it seems like with 30 and 30 I always had the intention to go back and finish the series, but I was scared of finishing the series because I'd always heard like how sad it was and that it was difficult. I was like, no, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna power through, but I would always check it out. Well, this 30 and 30 I said, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna read all 11 volumes. And I did. You saw my reaction. It is gut-wrenching. I listened to the classical music while I read it. Bad decision. Shouldn't have done that. Every volume was 5 stars except one volume, which I thought like it was kind of a dip in some things. And I was like, I don't know if we needed this. And then I was like, by the time I read volume 7 that dipped? And then I went to volume 8 and I was like, never mind. It was almost the same thing as Insomniacs, where I was like, I don't know if I want an introduction to a new character. Oh, well, maybe it was volume 8 that dipped, and then volume 9. I was like, never mind. I'm eating some crow here. Like, I take that back. We needed the introduction of that new character because it makes everything make sense. And so beautiful. I will probably never read that series again. And so it makes me kind of like, because I was like, ooh, I know that they have the omnis of the series now coming out. And I was like, ooh, I could collect the omnis. And then I'm like, I don't know, because it's not one that I think I will ever revisit, right? It's one of those series where it's like, I've read it, I did it, I loved it, but I can't go back to that. And so there's no point in me like having it on my shelf, right? So, and if I get that desperate, I can always just read it digitally. But I know that sounds kind of weird for me to say that, but that was such an emotionally taxing experience. I don't ever want to do that again. I have never cried that hard reading it. The only time I've ever cried that hard was when I read Salt to the Sea for the second time, and I was also pregnant at the time, so emotions already were kind of like chaotic, right? But this was me, no pregnancy, no nothing. It was just straight like me reading it, no other factors, and it literally destroyed me completely. So 5-star series. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It was so good. And then I ended up reading Ao-chan Can't Study. First of all, this is, I don't even know if it's borderline ecchi or if it's straight ecchi, right? Which, no judgment here, no problem, it's fine. However, these are like grade school kids, and so that made it awkward. And I've dealt with fan service and all that stuff, like, but this was so direct and so off kilter that it was a gross turn off for me. Like, I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I didn't like it. I gave it 2 stars. It's not a series that I'm gonna continue. I have no interest in continuing it. It just wasn't for me. So with that being said, I am currently, I think I am 24 volumes in, which means I'm way ahead of time because I have over 10 days left. So I did catch up and I overread. I think I want to just do 1 or 2 volumes a day here on out, right? Like, I'm going to make 30. That's not going to be a problem. I just also don't want to overkill myself. I just don't want to push myself too far, too quickly, and burn myself out, because I still have quite a bit of reading I need to get done, not only this month, but before summer hits as well. So trying to be very mindful of that, but that is the update for now. I don't know what I'm going to read next. I do know that I do want to catch up on the kaiju that I do have on my shelf. I still have I have volumes 3 and 4 of Our Dreams at Dusk upstairs checked out from the library that I need to finish. And then I did have Oshinoko that I need to work through. Oshinoko, I'm 50-50. Like, I'm on volume 7. I feel like if it doesn't pick up, if we don't get out of this cycle of talking about the nitty-gritty details associated with theater production, I think I'm gonna have to call it and just drop the series, because it's not that I don't like it, but what drew me to the series at first was the mystery thriller elements, right? We've lost that. And I'm getting super frustrated with it. So yeah, we'll see what ends up happening, but when I have an update, I will check in with y'all.
When you're feeling like there's no way out, to hold you till you're finally found. Even when you're on the edge and the thoughts are blurry in your head, I know that you quite see how, but it's better than you feel right now.
Well, hello there, friends. We are here for our final check-in, and unfortunately I did not meet my goal. I kind of figured that was going to happen. I am now in the end of the fiscal year for my job, and that means that I have been very busy. I'm also currently working on a couple of work-related projects that has really taken my time up. On top of that, I had so many other projects I was working on for this channel particularly, and reading wise, you will see this in my wrap up, I did make it through 27 volumes of manga. So I was very close, and technically I could have pushed myself and done the last 3, but I was so exhausted and I was like, I'm not gonna push myself for the sake of reaching 30, right? To be as busy as I was in the month of April and still do 27 volumes on top of reading other things, I think I may have read anywhere between 25 to 30 other books in the month of April. So it's not that I wasn't reading. I also had other things that I definitely needed to prioritize, some for the channel, some that was work related. And so I was very, very happy that I was able to get through my 27 volumes. It's much better than I even did in April of last year. So what you'll probably find is that whenever we do 30-30 in the fall, I tend to do better because it's usually a slower time period for me. It's typically in September, which is my birthday month, which I take a little bit more time off and time for myself, and not to coincide with my kid having things out of school. So the fall is different. The fall is usually when I crank out 40-50 volumes. Spring is always going to be the dicey month for me because it coincides with my end of year things for work, and it just is a pattern now, because last April I think I only read 15 volumes. So gratefully here I did better than I did last year, right? I knew I was gonna make 30. I was like, I'm gonna make 30, and then as I started getting in and out of things, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make 30, and I was like, no, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna make 30. And then I looked at the calendar and I was like, I could do it, but I'm not going to push myself. So let's talk about the last 3 volumes, because the last time I checked in with y'all, I think I had to count at 24. So I did end up reading 3 more things. The first thing that I ended up reading was Hirayasumi Volume 1, and I really, really enjoyed that one. It's very much so slice of life. It is a man that is in his 30s that's never it appears that he's never had a partner. He was just kind of making things work, and then he met this cute little old lady who he built a relationship with, and she ends up basically leaving her possessions to him, and he has a cousin who ends up coming to live with him and go to school, and it's just about their relationship dynamics, and it's slice of life, and him trying to find his purpose, she's trying to find her purpose, and it's just enjoyable. It was a lot more enjoyable than what I anticipated. I put volume 2 on hold, and I really liked it. I did finish Oshinoko Volume 7. I think I've talked about this one a lot. There's not much that I can say. This did pick up. We did get a little bit back to what I've been saying throughout the entirety. I actually edited this video already. I'm just doing the closing clip. And I talked about how much I dislike the series, or I dislike the direction of the series so much. So there's not much for me to say, but I did end up enjoying Volume 7 more than the previous, I think, 2 volumes. Now, I did hear some not so great things about the story moving forward, so it makes me very nervous. But once again, I am checking it out through the library. I'm just happy that I did not end up collecting, because I enjoyed Volume 1 so much, and I was like, I'm gonna collect, and then I didn't, and I'm happy I didn't. And the last thing that I ended up reading It's a new series by Viz Media. The second volume should have just come out, and that is Firefly Wedding. This is toxic. This is the most toxic manga I read throughout the entirety of April, right? Everything else was like super emotional, I think. Yeah, because I read like a lot of Insomniac. I read the entire Your Lie in April series. This is the most toxic one. This is I don't even want to call it a romance because it's not, but she belongs to this wealthy family, and she has a heart condition, and it feels almost like Cinderella-esque a little bit because her father ends up remarrying, and her sister is not great, and the two of them don't really seem to care for her, and there's kind of this altercation that happens between the two of them in the very beginning, and so she goes out into town. Her father lets her, and her father keeps trying to match her up with people because she's very beautiful, has a lot of grace about her, and she's basically trained her whole life to possibly get the opportunity to marry someone, but she knows that it's going to be hard because she has this heart condition and she doesn't know how long she's going to live. So he lets her go to town, and she ends up getting kidnapped, and apparently someone has set this up. We don't know officially who's done it yet, but we know that someone has requested for her to be kidnapped and possibly killed. And then along comes this guy, right, who's supposed to kill her. But they end up making this deal where she'll marry him if he rescues her. He is like a stoplight. In one panel, he'll be a green flag. In the next panel, he'll be a red flag. And it's like red flag, green flag, red flag, green flag. And it's like, what? He's very intense. He's intense in both directions. Like, he's intense with his love, but then like he's intense, like he is an assassin, like he's a killer. So it's a weird dynamic, and weirdly enough, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I am hoping that we get volume 2. I'm going to see how I feel a couple of volumes into this. If I enjoy it enough, maybe it'll be a new pickup. Maybe not, because we see how Oshinoko went. But Firefly Wedding seems to be pretty solid. Tachibana did a good job with this one. Enjoying it so far. All right, y'all. So that is my wrap up. I think in September, of course, we're going to see something that's a little different. I'm glad that I kept this as a month vlog. Like, I vlog for the month instead of doing it into 2 vlogs. It just worked out better for me that way. But yeah, I enjoyed it. If you participated in 30 and 30, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know, like, what were your favorite pickups for the month? What were you most disappointed in? I always get recommendations from y'all too, so I really appreciate that. But as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification. If you're looking for ways to support this channel, I have a wish list and a Patreon, only 2 tiers, 2 and 5. We have a lot of fun over there. You can join there, or if you want to just follow me on social media, all those links will be down in the description bar as well. Goodreads, Instagram, the whole shebang. And I will be back with another video soon. Bye.